Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Well, here we are closing in on a brand new year, and it's usually the number one New Year's resolution: want to get in shape, want to get healthy, want to lose weight. Okay, great. What are some of the reasons why fitness is so important? Now, there's some obvious ones that we can all identify, but it runs deeper than that and how it can support you mentally and much more. And we're going to start there in talking with an amazing life coach, and she's got insight on that and so much more. From Florida, Coach Jay joins us today. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, we don't need January 1 to roll around for us to begin our New Year's resolutions or uh, promises to ourselves to get into better shape and improve our fitness. Um, getting active, physically active, whether you go to the gym or you just make a commitment to get outside and be active. It's not just about aesthetics, looking good or toning down, trimming
Mm,
some fat. It goes much deeper than that to physiologically, to the cellular level. It regulates our metabolism, hormone imbalance, uh, improves our sleep, our mood. There's so many benefits.
mm. I struggle with staying on track. Like I have the goal. I even commit. I'm in a men's group, and we have, we make commitments every week. And my commitment every week is hit the gym at least 4 times for at least 1 hour. And sometimes I'll even push myself and say, all right, I need to get at least 30 minutes of cardio because I know for me, and I want to drop some pounds. That works for me. But staying committed, yeah, I'll show up, but I don't feel like I'm really digging into what I need to get done. How do you make those habits and then make those habits stick? And I think that would be impactful for people to, even just somebody starting their routine, New Year's resolution. You hear all these different things. Well, it takes 21 days to form a habit and all of that. Enlighten us on that.
Well, I think first and foremost, we need to look at ourselves in what gets in our way.
Mm,
What things do we need to look out for? What thoughts do we think in regards to ourself? Um, you know, uh, and just about self love. We need to have patience with ourselves and be gentle and not so critical of ourselves. We have to kind of approach ourselves as we would someone else or even a young child when they're starting to do something new and something new that they need to work on, like walking. You're not going to scold a child for falling down. So, you know, I think it starts with micro management, starting small with small goals. And if that just means looking at your first week, let's say it's Monday. I want to go 4 times this week. I'm hesitant. I'm aware that if I, get on my computer, I'm going to create distractions. It's about setting yourself up to not fail even before you get out the door to go to the gym or to go outside and do that activity.
let's talk about limiting beliefs because I'm sure that's a big part when you work with people, why they don't move forward. Because as we've talked before, things could be stuck in their subconscious from their childhood or trauma from back in the day. Is that potentially why somebody's not meeting their fitness goals? They have the best intention, but then there's something over here holding them back.
I think there's a lot of things. Yeah, limiting beliefs. You really have to get down to that core. So limiting beliefs along the lines of I'm not worthy or I'm not good enough or I can't do this.
Mm,
Um, that is about building confidence within oneself along the lines of every aspect of your life, not just getting out and going to the gym. And so that's why it is important to start very small with anything that you start with new. So you start with your first week. Heck, it could even just be your first day at the gym. just getting there,
Yeah.
and the key is you have to do your best to hold yourself accountable to go out and do that first step and make that first commitment. Um, and then you also need to be loving with yourself and patient with yourself. We get out there and we want to jump into something and we're all excited. And maybe it's not just doing it the first time or the second time. Like you said, it's that bigger commitment. We need to know that it takes time. We need to be patient with ourselves and gentle with ourselves.
To your point, there's a big there's murals at my gym all over the place, and the one I really love is the only bad workout is the one that never took place. So, to your point, just showing up is you're there. Even if you do this, that's great. Maybe that eventually you get to this. Let's talk about the chemicals within your body that get released when you work out and all the other
Sure.
benefits.
Sure. So, when you exercise and you start engaging and your heart races, the simple physiologics that your body sends a message to your brain, and your brain starts sending out hormones. Exercise stimulates the release of endorphins, dopamine, serotonin, and those help reduce stress and improve your mood. So it also balances out cortisol, which is a stress hormone. When we get stressed, our body releases cortisol, and you hear about, having that gut from stress, that cortisol belly. So yeah, so your body releases those chemicals and it helps us. And those are similar chemicals that are released during like fight or flight. It gives us that boost, that energy to continue.
Mm. Um, how about you? Let's go
Yes.
personal.
Okay.
You and fitness. Do you have a good relationship? Are you working on that relationship? How's it look for you?
I I do. I do have a relatively good relationship, sometimes it waxes and wanes. Currently I go 4 days a week. Um, and then I have a day every week, most weeks, I listen to my body. I try to be good to myself. I try to be patient with myself and I try to be gentle. So I give myself a day off if I feel physically or, even mentally stressed out from my work week. So I don't beat myself up. And I think that that's huge in helping me to just keep pushing forward. Because if I were to beat myself up every time I either needed to take a break or cut my workout short, I'd give up. I'd say, oh,
Mm,
forget this. I
yep.
don't want to. I go 4 times a week. I play pickleball. I play softball. I do various things. Variety also, I find, helps, so you don't get bored. It doesn't get stale.
And I'm not the expert, far from, but it's my understanding too that your body knows. So if you plateaued, I'm not losing any more weight. I don't feel like it's making a difference. You might need to change it up because your body got used to it. It metabolized the way you're working out. Um, and I wonder if people really do push themselves. Like as you're speaking now, I'm thinking to myself, I was on the treadmill this morning. Really should have just went longer and faster. Jogged longer. Um, Maybe it's that people don't push themselves because maybe they're afraid. I don't know. Yeah, I know I need to push myself. That's where I'm lacking.
Well, see, the thing is, though, when you have that thought too, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. If you just stop that train of thought right there and just say, you know what? I maybe could have gone a little longer, but at least I got out here. I did the best I could. And my next visit to the gym or my next bike
Hmm.
ride, I'm going to add 10 minutes.
Yep.
And, I find that the way we talk to ourselves
Mm,
is directly related to our motivation, to our energy levels, to us even just getting out the door.
yep.
It's very important.
I completely agree with you. And everybody has their own routine or whatever works for them. For me, it's got to be music. I'll find songs. The only negative in that is, I'll make playlists, but my brain changes every 5 seconds. Like, gotta listen to that song. Oh, let me change that. I gotta have the right song on to motivate me and push me and get into a rhythm. But it's interesting when you get out of your head, and let's say you're lifting weights or you're jogging or whatever it might be, when you just focus on something else other than what you're doing, I find you get more done. Like I could be on the treadmill, I look out the window, I'll look at a nail on a telephone pole, whatever it is, and just keep staring at it. And then I get like almost into a zone. I don't even know I'm moving, but I am, and at a pretty good clip. I don't know why that is. Can you maybe some insight on that? Just getting out of our head.
Yeah, I think that's part of it, but also, going to the gym, specifically the gym, I think it's looked at as a chore,
Mm,
and so when you're in that present moment and you're on that treadmill and you say you don't have music to entertain yourself, you're stuck with the thoughts in your head. You're
mm.
stuck with the thoughts there that are saying, "Oh gosh, I wish this was over. How many more minutes?
Yeah,
Now I have to move on to this."
so true.
And we need to not just understand that these are benefits physiologically for ourselves. We need to embrace that. We need to embrace that, um, because it's true. We do best what we enjoy. You know, so I think that that's a huge factor in that focus. And when you turn your brain to focusing on a bird or outside, you're visually being stimulated, and that's taking you away from whatever those thoughts are in your head that are maybe making your workout a little less enjoyable or exciting.
I completely agree with you. And there's been times where I've gone to the gym, put on my headphones, they're not charged. Oh, so now I have to listen to what they're playing on the speakers in the
Right.
gym. Or, like you just said, then I'm listening to myself and I'm derailing myself, whether I know it or not. And it's just not going to be a good workout. So, yeah, you spot on. Spot on. Yeah, just got to get out of your head.
I mean, if I find myself drifting in a direction that is self-defeating, because that is self-defeating,
Sure.
I just try to redirect myself and I focus on the actual exercise at hand. I look at what I'm doing. I look at and I count how many, reps I'm doing, and I focus on, okay, this is going to make me stronger. This is going to make me more agile. I start speaking positivity into that motion, into
Hmm.
that exercise.
I like that. And pushing yourself with a goal. Like I could be doing it, number of reps. I know I should be doing 10. Sometimes I'm like, this is rough. There's 7. I did 7. We're good.
Right.
But saying to yourself, you are doing 10. You're not getting out of this. You're doing 10 and let's push on. And when you get down to, to 9, and you're like struggling, don't stop until you get to 10. But I find that works for me. I have to challenge myself. You're doing 10. Stop. Stop. In my head, I'm
Right.
thinking this. Yeah. Uh, how about you talked about the cellular level? And this has been my year of realization within that, to the point where stress, a lot of things that we deal with don't just manifest in, let's say, the gut or other areas. It really does get to this every cell in your body. Um, Mind blowing. Can you provide some insight on that, and then I'll, maybe even point toward fitness with that?
Sure. I'm no chemist, However, I do know that at the cellular level, the mitochondria, the heart of the cell, it
Mm,
becomes more efficient, and what that does with the efficiency of your cells, Um, it get produces more energy within the cell that you can use. It helps with cellular repair.
Mm,
It also helps reduce oxidative stress. You talk about having fruits and berries for antioxidation. Um, and these it helps with improving immunity. With at the cellular level as well. So it basically it creates a powerhouse, not just an external view of these muscle fibers of being strong and healthy. Internally, it's like working your muscle. These cells get worked up and they get enhanced.
mm. And again, we're not chemists and we're not doctors, but the other benefits for brain health. You might even find
Absolutely.
yourself, you have more clarity. You can think better after, a workout or a few workouts. It's all these things that we don't realize. We just think of one goal. I need to get healthy. I need to lose weight. That's usually it. And then
Right.
you kind of lose your steam without realizing all the other things that are going on there. And how many times have you gone to the gym, maybe tired, maybe it's Monday, and you're like, oh, I'll bang this out. An hour later, it's like, I feel really good. Like that was worth it. Just the
Right.
whatever happened, whatever chemicals were released, you just feel better. You feel better about yourself, but also just in general, you feel better.
Sure. I mean, we get this, we go to the gym and we start working out and our heart's pumping and our blood's flowing and we got these endorphins and the dopamine flowing and, we're getting blood to our brain, to our toes, everything's getting where you're getting oxygen. The waste and oxygen is being exchanged in the lungs. I mean, it's we're basically filtering ourselves, at a better rate. We're breathing out that carbon dioxide, we're taking in oxygen. We're enhancing everything about ourselves, and with that, you get that increased height of clarity and feel good. Everything just When you think about it, everything just systematically and synergistically, you know, meshes together. And yeah, when you go and you just say, "Yeah, I'm going to bang this one out and just get it done." I mean, the feeling you get when you walk out of the gym, not only because you're like, "Yay, I'm going home," but I mean, you do feel good. You've got all those chemicals released, and your body's thanking you. You know.
Hmm. I never thought of it that way. Wow. Wow. It's an interesting when you look at it that way, like you're doing something for your body. It's thanking you and rewarding you by giving you better health, but making you mentally feel better. Your brain operates better. You have more cognitive skills, maybe less of a chance of falling because you have more mobility as opposed to sitting in a chair all day. I'm a firm believer and proof of this that sitting is the new smoking.
Okay. Yeah.
It really is, ever since COVID and people working from home and you're not even walking to your car and then walking to the office. You're just walking to the refrigerator while you're working, right?
Right. Yeah, it's funny you say that because I was thinking about that when you said about, agility and less falls. And not just sitting is the new smoking. We now have vapes and everything. So people can, smoke wherever now. They can inside, outside, it doesn't matter anymore.
Sure.
Um, but I really started to dedicate myself to health and fitness a long time ago, but I really started to centralize it more and be more dedicated to it. Um, Ironically, I turned a certain number age wise, and I thought about, being in healthcare, that a lot of deaths are from falls. And it's not because the fall
Wow.
caused the death, it's because people fall and they become debilitated, they become disabled. And with that, then they enter this decline.
Yeah.
And depending on where your mindset is as well, that Either it, quickens your decline or slows it down. But I started working more on flexibility and agility first and
Mm,
foremost, because my diet's been good. My diet's pretty well maintained, pretty wholesome. So I started working more on flexibility, because working in healthcare too, it's just any job at this stage.
sure.
Um, the more productivity, more demands, less time for family, let alone yourself. My gosh, where do we squeeze our own selves in? I started working on agility and flexibility and stretching, and
Oh,
deep
yes.
stretches,
Yes.
because the thing too is down the road. I mean, and that's the other thing, about your body thanking you. If what we do today impacts us down the road, if we can be consistent, even on those days when we don't want to get to the gym or we're having a hard time, if you're in your 40s and 50s, you've got decline already starting in your bodies from late 30s, and so as we start to age, if we're not trying to, even on a consistent level, take care of our bodies and, create those resistant exercises and all that, we do sadly set our bodies up for, um, broken hips, broken bones, a quicker deterioration, which equates to, a less quality of life for ourselves in our later years.
Stretching and mobility, what a wake up. And I feel I was in really great shape about 2 to 3 years ago. And then, things change, COVID. Actually, that was after COVID, but I think it was in pretty good shape just before. And then they, gained a little bit of weight, not a lot. I mean, I just, 15 pounds or whatever. Um, but it made a difference. But the mobility and stretching as you get older, it's amazing how it changes and how we need to stretch. Forget about working out. If you
Right.
do anything, stretch. There's businesses where you go in and they just stretch you. It's not PT. Around here, it's a
Right.
franchise called the Stretching Lab. They just stretch your body. That's so, and my goal was to have more mobility, especially kneeling down, squats, and things like that. So I started that journey, I don't know, maybe 3 months ago, whatever. And I was thinking to myself, I'm not making a lot of progress until recently. I'm walking downstairs, I'm going bending down to pick up something. I'm like, wow, it doesn't hurt. I can do that. It's easy enough. And to your point, Coach Jay, I remember being in my 20s, even my mid 20s, upper 20s, and I would love working on things, cars, electronics, and I have to kneel or squat down to get to something. Even back then it hurt. So
Yeah.
now fast forward decades, what do you got? You gotta stay with it. It is so important. And again, to your point, when you have an accident, a fall, or whatever it is, it can take you down. You look at seniors, even people in their 70s, they have one accident. And if they don't bounce back with the right mindset, uh, you see their steady decline. So important. How does somebody find you, whether they have fitness goals, whether they're looking to just move their life forward? Maybe they're stuck with something. Maybe it's a mindset. What's the best way to connect with you?
Sure, sure. So I have my business phone number is 352-410-2133. I can be reached through appointments with the Calendly app at calendly.com/Coach J with the number two. And they can also find me on Facebook and follow me, Transformations with Jay.
One of the most important things here we did not mention is the accountability. So I have a coach at the gym, and others. You can't do it alone. You
No.
offer the accountability no matter what it is, whether it's your fitness goal, whether you're looking to move your life forward, maybe recovering from a situation in your life and you just need to get back on track. You need somebody to hold you to task. It's just not going to work. That's my opinion. You might get
Yeah.
close, but when somebody's looking over your shoulder, I'm in a men's group. we do commitments. We have dailies. We talk to a different man every day, every week. And the first thing they say, how you doing with your commitments? You go to the gym 4 times? Yes, it's so important. And you offer that. Coach Shea, thanks so much for being here. And also happy holidays to you and your family.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcasts on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.